This is a New York segment, folks, regarding big plans from Donald Trump to rally in the South Bronx. So last year, I believe, this was a while ago because this is the episode that I missed because my kid was sick. So Russ, you and Tusker did a segment talking about rumors of Donald Trump eventually planning a big rally in the South Bronx. And some people thought, he's just bluffing, right? He's just a little chest pounding. But no, it's actually happening. It's happening this week. It's happening Thursday. Trump plans a campaign event in the deep blue Bronx. The former president, who has sought to make some political appearances around New York as he stands criminal trial, is set to speak at an event next Thursday at Crotona Park. Former President Donald J. Trump, who has been spending much of his time recently as a criminal defendant in a Manhattan courtroom, will be in a very different New York borough next Thursday when he will hold a campaign event in the Bronx. The gathering is scheduled to take place at Crotona Park, his campaign announced in a statement on Friday evening, declaring that Mr. Trump would, quote, ease the financial pressures placed on households and reestablish law and order in New York. It is an unusual location for a Republican presidential campaign event. The area went for President Biden by about 77 percentage points in the 2020 election. And despite a shift to the right in some of New York State's congressional districts and neighborhoods, including the Bronx, in recent years, the state as a whole is not considered a general election battleground. Well, the point of doing this, even if you can't flip New York State, is this is a very, very good PR move for Trump to be campaigning in a place like the South Bronx because there are a lot of voters in diverse states across the Sun Belt, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, where he is very competitive, and his success in those states is going to depend on closing the margins amongst non-white voters. Now, a lot of polls have him leading amongst Latinos in general. Yep. And a Fox News write-up on this, which didn't have a lot of the New York Times sort of condescending snark that you would expect, interviewed an African restaurant owner who said he might vote for Trump, interviewed a Hispanic woman who said, yeah, I probably will end up voting for him. There's a reason they're doing this. It's actually not a stupid move. I think it's actually very smart. And it is going to be a party because, as we can see here, Trump rally Bronx MAGA cruise sailing to Midtown Manhattan the evening before Trump rally Bronx. Party like a rock star with New York's finest MAGA patriots. Much more info coming soon. Now, this says it's from 6 to 10. They
better get the info out. It's tomorrow.
It is, it's Thursday, right? Yeah. Oh, no. It's no. This is the night before. The night before. And then the rally is Thursday. So if you want to make it like a destination a week in New York, you got the cruise from 6 to 10, and then you go to the rally the next day. Now, this cruise here is BYOB. MAGA cruise. BYOB MAGA
Trump's
cruise.
Throwing a kegger.
Yeah, a kegger on a boat. It's going to be like a pirate ship full of the MAGAs. BYOB MAGA cruise around New York announced to coincide with Trump's Bronx rally. Donald Trump's Manhattan criminal trial and South Bronx rally this coming Thursday aren't the only Make America Great Again shows in town this week. A Trump rally Bronx MAGA cruise on the evening of May 22nd, the day before the former president appears at his first New York rally in 8 years, was announced on Saturday by the site TrumpSwag.com. This is going to be like to the effete liberal New Yorkers, this is going to be like January 6th coming to town. Like the MAGA people are going to be invading the city.
It's going to be January
in Manhattan.
6 times 6.
Yeah, January 6 times 6. It's going to be MAGA Palooza in New York this week. The city's going to be crawling with the deplorables. Organizers promise an evening to remember. I'm sure it will be an evening to remember. That must be a wild time on that boat. Sailing from Midtown Manhattan the evening before Trump rally Bronx. Sick means it was a spelling error on the part of TrumpSwag.com. Party like a rock star with New York's finest MAGA patriots, the flyer reads. Only 150 tickets are available at $99 each, food and entertainment included, with cruisers told to board at 6 p.m. for a 6:30 cruising time. That's actually not a bad price considering food and entertainment. Mimicking Mr. Trump's love of...
Yeah, but this is Trump. That could mean they got cheese doodles and bowls.
That's true, yeah. Although this isn't, I don't think, an official campaign cruise. I think this is outside
it's not
Trump
the campaign?
Swag. No, it's TrumpSwag.com. This is a outside, unauthorized operation here.
I see.
Mimicking, no, if it were Trump's campaign, this would be like a high dollar donor thing, you know. This is just the guy who figures, hey, we'll cash in, we'll make a few grand on this.
Right.
Mimicking Mr. Trump's love of capital letters in his Truth Social post, the FAQ for the cruise states, bring your own beer, wine, liquor. This is unheard of on a private Manhattan charter, but our captain is allowing. Yeah, it is kind of unheard of to tell people, oh yeah, bring bottles of fucking Jameson onto a boat and chug all you want. They can't cut you off when you bring the booze, right? The bartender, if you've had too much, can say, all right, that's it, you're cut off. You bring your own shit, all bets are off. The departure point is not advertised except for being between 30th and 40th Streets on the west side of Manhattan, or approximately 40th Street elsewhere on the website. More precise information will be emailed to attendees, the site says. Lasting for about 3 hours, the cruise promises to take in the west side of Manhattan, downtown, the Brooklyn Bridge, Governor's Island, the Statue of Liberty, and New Jersey. The skyline and landmarks of New York aside, the boat itself might be quite the sight. This will be a full-fledged MAGA rally in the New York harbor. Bring as many flags, signs as you like. We're going to make history. Fun time in New York City this week. The Trump rally in the Bronx and the BYOB MAGA cruise circling the harbor. That is going to be a wild time on that boat. Just a bunch of shit-faced Trump people with the flags and everything going on. That's going to be quite the time.
Yeah, no, a few hundred shit-faced MAGA people in New York Harbor. What could go wrong?
Yeah, what could go wrong? On a boat going around the city. Yeah. BYOB.
Classy. Yeah, the Trump rally in the South Bronx. I don't think they're going to have to import MAGA people. I have always said this, so. Man. When I was
there
out,
will be. When some are going to come from the bridge and tunnels, yeah.
Some are going to come from, well, yeah, but I would still consider that kind of local.
Right.
I mean, they're not going to have to come in.
No.
When I was campaigning for Bernie in Harlem, they would always give me the neighborhood because I lived here. I didn't get a lot of black people telling me that they supported Hillary. I got a lot saying they supported Trump.
Yep.
Old ladies sometimes would tell me they supported Hillary. That's it. When I would get people who even had an opinion. Now, a lot of people didn't have an opinion. A lot of people were just like, yeah, whatever with that. People who had an opinion, they were much more likely to be arguing for Trump than to be arguing for Hillary. So no, I think him being in the South Bronx, you're going to find out there is a big hidden Trump contingent in the South Bronx, in Harlem, in these working class communities of people of color that the media just doesn't tell you about because it doesn't fit the narrative.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. When you and Tusker did the segment, and this was like last summer because my kid was in the hospital last August. So this was a long time ago now. So they've been rumoring this. This is not just because he's in town for trial. Right. They've been talking about this for almost a year, trying to set something up like this. And you saw, I forget, it was like a local cable station that went out and interviewed people about would they welcome Trump to the South Bronx. And of course, they've probably edited out some people who said they wouldn't, but you had a lot of people there who said, yeah, of course, I would have him come in. There's not a lot of love for Joe Biden in New York or anywhere in this country. You know, in 2016, the hidden Trump vote was the white rural voter who had never voted in the
Right.
past, and that's why they were
Right.
underpolled. In 2024, it's possible the hidden Trump vote are black and brown people who typically
Right.
vote Democrat,
Right.
who come out and vote for Trump
Yo,
this time. The
what's
polling
it?
indicates that he's winning with Hispanics according to most polls. And African Americans, he's in the mid-teens to some even low 20s. So there's obviously a major shift going on here, and we have been talking about this for years. This is the ultimate irony. As the Democratic Party has been accusing the Republican Party of being basically this engine of white supremacy, the Republican coalition has gotten more diverse and the Democratic coalition has gotten whiter, as they've been saying that.
Yes. Part of my argument on that has always been the culture thing. I have always said the idea that you've got this white heteronormative patriarchy on one side and everyone else on the other, you have got to just have never lived a day in your life in society outside of, ironically, an extremely homogeneous white community to believe that the world exists in that form. You come into a black neighborhood, a Latino neighborhood, they tend to be pretty culturally conservative. So you're not winning anybody over with drag queen story hour from that fucking community. And then economically, who's getting killed the most by this inflation?
Of course.
They talk about the gallon of milk standard. I go by the bacon, egg, and cheese in Harlem standard. And that shit has doubled. I don't even buy those anymore because I just won't. Won't. $6? I'm not paying $6 for on a roll. Not even on a hero, on a roll. Right. I'm not paying $6. That shit was $3.50 3 years ago. $3.50. Yep. Now, I can afford it and I won't pay it. How do people who can't afford it feel, who really actually a lot of their food comes from bodegas in New York? Now you take that and you multiply it across the country. People can't afford to go into fast food restaurants. And in spite of what some people want to say about, minimum wage, they didn't increase the minimum wage all over the fucking country.
Right.
And you've had an explosion in the cost of fast food way beyond supermarket prices even. People now, they're starting to report their quarterly earnings. McDonald's, I think, is down like $9 billion from what they thought they were going to report. I could be wrong about that number. It's a few billion. I think I remember.
It's big. Well, the Israel stuff has hurt them a lot.
The boycott has hurt them, but also a lot of these restaurants that don't have an Israel boycott are reporting a drop in foot traffic because who the fuck is going to pay that money for fast food?
Yeah, for fake food. Yeah.
For fake food. So now McDonald's is going to do like a $5 menu for a month to try to keep people in the habit of going. Yep. So you don't break the habit. And of course, look, man, we can have our disagreements about British food, but I think we can all agree people should stop eating that shit anyway.
Oh,
so it might be the best thing for the nation.
Yes, indeed. But no, I think the rally is going to be a big hit. I think it's going to have a lot of people there because don't forget Trump. They say this is the first Trump rally in 8 years in New York. They mean New York State. He rallied in Buffalo in 2016 because of the New York primary.
Mean in New York City.
What?
In New York City.
In New York City, there hasn't been a Trump rally in forever. Trump,
has he ever done one in New York City?
I don't believe so. The New York State rally they're referring to was in Buffalo in advance of the 2016 primary, just to rally the troops.
Okay.
Right. The smart thing about having a Trump rally in Buffalo is you probably get a lot of people from like Pennsylvania and Ohio coming in. Those are swing state voters, so it makes sense to do it there. But no, he's actually going to do this in New York City. I think this is the first New York City Trump rally since he announced in the escalator, which wasn't really a rally. That was just a gathering in Trump Tower. But I do think that a lot of people are going to show up because don't forget, this is the first chance for a lot of New York City dwelling Trump supporters to go to a Trump rally. They've never had the chance before. And so I think it is a smart move. I think it is going to go over quite well. And I think it is going to work pretty well for his campaign as a PR stunt. I mean, as a video, I mean, just the video coming out of that, of what will almost certainly be a pretty diverse rally crowd. And like I said, yeah, you're going to have a lot of the whiteys coming in from Long Island and New Jersey. I mean, yeah, they're going to be there.
Oh,
for
absolutely.
Sure. It's not going to be
Staten Island.
Exactly.
You're going to have a lot of people coming from Staten Island. Yeah.
Right. But you're going to have a pretty big local turnout, I think, as well. And you're going to cover that. We can disclose that, right?
Yeah,
I hope so. I mean, I just did.
Yes. I will be like, how do I not? Donald Trump is doing a fucking rally in the South Bronx. It would be journalistic podcaster malpractice to not go cover that.
Yeah. But they denied him a press pass. they didn't give you press.
A lot of people are saying that you humiliated Professor Dawkins. Professor Dawkins is a very big supporter of ours. Some very smart people are saying you get in there, you're going to embarrass us.
You fake news. It's funny. When I was covering the Trump rally in New Hampshire, you do get a lot of that in the crowd. Like a lot of Trump supporters, they don't really differentiate between an indie podcaster with a cell phone camera coming to ask them questions and like CNN. Like to a lot of those guys,
press.
Anyone with a camera is fake news. Fuck them.
Yeah.
That's why some of them were hostile. But yeah, so that's going to be something. That's this week. That's Thursday night. So Russell will be there getting some video. And that
they said I think they got bigger fish to fry. They didn't single us out. They said they have a list. Sure. They have a list of approved outlets. If you're not on it, if you're not working for someone on that list, you're not getting a press pass.
Yeah, interesting, because it's an outdoor venue. It's not like it's a capacity issue. They probably just don't want to deal with the headache.
Yeah, well, that's very Donald Trump. Hey, right. Who are they? They got a YouTube show?
The hell with them.
What do we need those people?
Right.
We don't need those people.
No. Those are very bad people.
We want Dana Bash. Bash.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Please clap.